Hey there everybody, welcome! This is my combination video, as well as kind of a review video for Ocular Maximas Pro, their take on the Autobot Defensor. So we're going to combine them, and then we'll go through all the articulation, the bonus head, and just the weapons and whatnot. So you'll see I do have everybody set up in their combined modes already. Either I or various other content creators have videos on how to transform them if the instructions aren't good enough for you. So I'm, not doing that here, but we're going to combine them. I'm going to start with the legs. We'll start with Streetwise first. So you've got these tabs up here. They're going to slide into a slot right here behind his kneecap. I'll show you that in a second, close up. And then his legs, you got to split apart. And you don't need to split apart that much, but I'm going to split it apart much more to be able to show you. So I'm going to open them up right here. You do not have to do this exactly. I'm just trying to be thorough and show you exactly what I mean. This little port, which is a screw hole, it's on both legs. That is where the two posts are going to go. I'm going to show you those in just a second. But those two posts will plop in right there. And that's how Streetwise will get added up. So now, like I said, we don't need them that much apart to actually do the combination. So let me get them close. I'll fix all that in a second. I'm going to move everybody out of the way. And let's get them added. I'm going to go ahead with, which leg is supposed to be which vehicle is supposed to be which leg kind of deal. So bring down the knee, slide this up, and there's your two slots. Let's see, there it is, look at that. All right, and then right here, here's your two posts. Can I show you? Here you go. All right, so first thing, I'll go ahead and slide that on. And then I'll close this back up. Now I'll come down here, I'll go ahead and flip them over. Split them just enough to be able to get this in between his legs. Close it up, and you'll know it's good when you can actually close up the back of the car, right? And that is one. I'm going to lay him down, I'll put the weapon back in, and get them all closed up, neat and pretty. There we go, that's one. Next will be grooves. He has the same tabs up here. All right. But as far as down here goes, so I'm going to bring up the exhaust, rotate out a little bit to untab from the wheel. I'll bring the side baggers out just a little, and I'm going to split them right there. And it's very similar, all right? But it is located differently. So he has two posts. Those go into a square on the same little lever that those two posts are on, all right? Then right here is a little empty space just above the tail light. That's where the two posts are going to go. And then finally, right here you have these little silver tabs right at the bottom of the back of the bike. Those are going to go into a pair of slots right back here in the ankle, roughly where your the Achilles tendon would be, right? So, with all that, flip it down, get that. Go ahead and slide it in first. I like to slide it in first because then it helps keep it stable while I do the rest. Because the rest can sometimes not be super stable. Alright, so now, oops, I just undid his foot. I'm going to split apart the leg just enough to be able to get all this fed up in there. Alright, and again, you'll know you got it when you can fully close up the back of the bike. So now I'll close the side baggers and make sure these are rotated back in, exhaust pipes are back where they're supposed to be. Wheels tabbed together properly. There we go. He has 2 feet to stand on. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, we'll take a quick look at these guys. So, there's grooves. There's the back of them. And then Streetwise, making sure that everything is good, how it's supposed to be. There we go. Okay, now the arms. Doing the arms is just like it was with Incertus. You have this kind of connector for this kind of port. And you can see I already have it unlocked. You just simply slide it in, close the lock, there we go, that's one. Do the same on the other side, exactly the same. And there we go. I'm gonna bring them both up one click. And that is Defensor Maximas Pro, I should say, combined. And man, he looks good. Straight on is not his most flattering look because of how bulky his body is. What they did with the hip skirt slash like belt area by incorporating it into the thighs. So he's definitely better with dynamic poses or off different sides. Right at this second, I'm not going to really worry about it. So we are going to give him his weapons. Here's one. Groove's side guns on the side and Groove's main gun underneath. And like I showed in Groove's video, it kind of hooks in place, right? Just get it in there at first and then swing it up. There you go. All right. Now for blades. His main gun just tabs into the back here. Super simple, right? And you can have it upside down or you can have it right side up, kind of, again, doesn't matter. That would be the aiming sight in the hand grip or the magazine, so. And then his arm cannons, tiny little squares into the slots. Not super secure. Unfortunately, it does feel like the weapon storage or even these combined weapon modes were a bit of an afterthought, which is a shame. We haven't heard anything official from MMC about it, and it is what it is. I mean, it's already released. What are they going to do about it now? But you can do that. You can combine them if you wish. You can also leave Blade's main gun in his helicopter body. You can attach his arm cannons to the side of his forearm, you know, bend him 90. For Grooves, you can attach his main blaster to the front fender of the bike, which is the intended storage, and you can attach the side cannons to his side bags. So if you don't like this look, you can put it on the bots, or of course you can just take it all away and he can only have these two main guns. But then also, remember, you do have these little fire hose things. You can plug it in there. It's got the slot that can go into that tab, and then you can have this deal, right? Tabs onto that, and there you go. And you can still have the other weapons combined if you really want. So he can be all weaponized. I think it's a little excessive, and it would probably really increase the weight. I'm not going to do that, but it is something you can do. You do have different ways of doing it. Now, these, I've not found any way to attach them to him. I know there are 3D printed kits available. I deeply apologize, I don't remember who did it. And in the heat of the moment, I completely didn't think about doing the research on that ahead of time before making the video. But I know they are available, as long as that person is making them. And then by doing that, it attaches to the back of him, so he'd have a similar look as Bruticus by having these two popping up from his back. Options, if you can find that, and if you want to spend the extra money on a fan-made add-on kit. Now, I've got the one stock head on him, and then he also comes with this additional head. And I know I showed this off in my hotspot video, but I'm going to show it off again now in case you haven't seen that video. He does have the screaming face and the straight face for both heads. And I'm not going to bother swapping heads, but to swap faces, you just get under his chin, lift it straight forward, find the appropriate faceplate. The faceplates are different between the two heads, and then slide it on, and there you go. And to replace the head as well, it should be as simple as open it up. Yes, I've got Hotspot's head right there, and I believe it just pops right off. Until it has been a bit since I have even tried. There it is. Yep, it just pops right off because it's got these little, yeah, you can't really see it, but there's little round clips in here that go down onto these mushroom pegs. And then just straight down. Boom. Done. And as far as holding his weapon, it is just like Incertus, just like a lot of others. You've got a large tab here on the back of the larger handle for the gun. And you just get it in his palm, you tab it in, and then you can squeeze the fingers around it. And there you go. And he holds it pretty well, as I would expect, as I would hope so. So there's that. We'll go ahead and go through articulation next. So first of all, his head will do a full 360, but because of the design, it does feel like it's got like some notches that you have to go past. But it will. You can only look up that much, down that much, and no side to side. Very limited on that front. The arms, all the way out to there. Can I get one more click? No, that's it. And then let's just make sure for argument's sake. Yep, there you go. So he does have a little bit of looseness in that connector. Little bit of looseness in that connector. It's roughly the same for both. Blades might be a little bit looser. And it's like the connector piece that goes into that port is just a hair too small. So it's fully locked in. It's secure, but it does feel it's got that little bit of play. It is a shame. But that's as far as he can lift his arms up. Let's bring him back down. And you'll notice I'm moving things as close to the port as possible. I just want to be careful. So for rotation, nice good ratchet, heavy ratchet. He'll do a 360 there. And for here, yep, he'll do a 360. You do need to watch out where you grab blades. The downside with blades is that he is hollow. This barely tabs in. Come on, there it is. So grabbing him by the body to do that, like I basically just compress him a little bit and he keeps falling apart on me. He doesn't have that problem. So from over here, just be very careful where you grab it. That's all. But he will do a 360. It doesn't seem like these will get in the way as long as you have them folded up. So that's good news. Then you've got a bicep rotate. There's the one for first aid. And the one for blades is a little tighter. But he does have it. It is a little tight, but it does function. Here, I'm just going to move these up out of the way for argument's sake. There we go. I don't know if that sound is coming through on the camera, but yeah, it does squeak. Elbows. First aid, double jointed elbow. Get you up that far. All right. Blades, also double jointed elbow. I'm just trying to watch out. There we go. So they do both have double jointed elbows when transformed properly. Notice how I've got the hip skirt set up. A lot of people have them set up differently for whatever reason, maybe by accident, maybe that it's intentional. By doing it this way, the way that the manual tells you to do it, there's no gap. By having these forward and this down here, that'll go into there, and then you can still have the rest of the bend. So you do get more than 90. There are different ways you can do it, it's just you may be limiting your articulation by doing it those other ways. So, there's that. Hands. They're about the same as always. Well, I should say about the same as with the Incertus. You'll go one direction to a certain point, the other direction to a certain point, and that's that. The hand itself does have outward on the meat of the palm. The thumb has 2 pins, a ball joint, and a swivel, so you get some good articulation off of that. The fingers have 3 pins each, and they can splay out, which is something a Incertus did not do. So these can splay. That's pretty cool. That's always a nice option whenever we get that. Alright, so moving on. Gotta be careful where I hold him down here. He does have a waist rotate. He does have not only an ab crunch, but a chest crunch. So the ab crunch is where you would expect it. It's at the abs. And of course he wants to fall forward with it, but he does have it. Damn, gotta watch out for this piece. Yep, I already snapped off a tab in there one time and I glued it, and I think I just snapped it again. It's my fault because I keep grabbing it by here. I'm used to smaller bots where you can grab them here to do a lot of your articulation. I cannot do that on this guy because the way the crotch is built. So, that is on me, but I did just snap the tab again. I'm going to have to fix that. Anyway, the chest crunch happens up here. Now, all of this is fully locked in the way it's supposed to. But this only tabs in 2 super small ports and whatnot. So, it is possible to have him bend above the ab. So with that and the ab crunch, I mean, I would only recommend it if you're going to have him sitting down or laying down, but you could have him do a very, very deep bend over. The only downside with using this chest crunch is it does untab. I mean, it untabs a lot, but these 2 pieces should be tabbed in to the back. Or, sorry, not tabbed in, but they slide in. And by doing that, using the chest crunch, now you gotta make sure they go back in. I don't believe it's official that it has that chest crunch, but it is there. If you wanted to use it, you could. You just gotta make sure you line everything back up when you're done with it, depending on what you're using it for. So that's all the ab and waist related stuff. I'm gonna lift them up a little. You've got kick out to there, and it holds fairly well. Look at that, a little bit. I'm also not bumping it down that hard because I know I don't have a very good grip on it. Only back to there because of the back hip skirts. All right, a little limited on that. Then outward, it is a little bit of a pain trying to grab him for some of these. He'll go all the way. Oh, no, not all the way. He'll get out to there because there's blue tabs in the body of the fire truck that are getting in the way. But, so there you go. Okay, so holds well enough, but not amazing. Thigh rotate. You just got things in the way. Let me get him set up now that everything is all out of sorts. Okay. Okay. For the knees, a little bit more than 90. Not by much, but a little bit. Nice ratchets though, all throughout. All the ratchets are great. And pretty much everything is ratcheted except for the elbows. For the feet themselves, you get a little bit of side to side. No rotate because of how they're built. You do get a little up, not really any down. And you can move the whole foot forward and back just a little bit. So overall, not bad, not the best either when it comes to the feet. In fact, I'll be honest, I mean, articulation-wise, in general, is not the best. Just at all. It's just not the best. It's really good what is there. And the fact that they could do this with an all-in-one, absolutely incredible engineering that went into it. I love the look of him. I know some people don't. He, like I said, he does look a little bulky, especially up at the top. I still think he looks great. My problem is this. Because I've broken that twice now, just by normal handling. It must be because I'm putting so much weight on it, but still. That, and then you do have arm droopage. This one is much more secure. It's mostly just the free play and the ratchet. But this one, it's the actual connector hinge and the free play in the ratchet. And then blades himself, that main rotor blade is just not super secure the way it attaches to the canopy. All of the bots do attach securely, even blades. He still attaches securely to the connector port. These two are very secure. And the transformation's not bad at all, really, for going into combine mode. Honestly, none of them have a terrible transformation. There are definitely a couple things to watch out for on pretty much every one, just because sliding parts past each other, like Streetwise, the two panels that go underneath in the car mode, grooves, you got a couple pieces you got to watch out for, especially that kickstand. If you're not careful, that kickstand is going to snap off. But yeah, I mean, overall, pretty good. Definitely pleased with the purchase, and I'm glad that I have a Defensor, and he does look the part. But now I think I'll slide him over, and we'll do just a couple of size comparisons. So I don't want to go crazy on the size comparisons, but here is Ocular Max Assaultus, and he's got a little bit of a pose to him at the moment. Nope, I just his legs. There you go. So you can see they're pretty close to eye level. They do look great together, though. They do, and there's the comic from the G1 series, the mid-'80s, that had these two fighting on the cover with Optimus and Megatron going at it underneath them. Awesome, really cool comic cover, and now that can be recreated between these guys, especially since he's got the toy front. And then, like I said, I'm not going to go crazy, so for the other size comparison, here is DX9 Menasor, and he is right about eye to eye with my Zeta Superion, so I figure that'll let you see how short the Ocular Max combiners are to other combiners. It's not a secret that they are shorter, but there you go. So next to Menasor, it looks like he would get absolutely flattened. But next to Bruticus, being from the same company, he looks awesome. Now the way I have it set up, I've got him and Superion on one shelf, and him and Bruticus on the other, so the scale looks great, works really well. Your mileage may vary depending on how you have your collection set up. But there's that. I'd say that's it for size comparisons. The only other one I have is Zeta Superion anyway, and like I said, they're the same height as Menasor. So with that concludes this team. And what a team it is. I mean, he's got a few flaws with a little bit of looseness. This back piece, that just cannot hold weight, so I can't hold it there, and I can't believe I snapped that tab off a second time. But the set itself, design-wise and engineering-wise, is awesome. Especially the engineering doing the all-in-one gimmick. Absolutely incredible. I'm so glad we have a company that does that for us, and they do exceptional at the all-in-one gimmick. I cannot wait to see their Constructicons, and I fully intend to get that complete set, as well as finish out the Ruination repaint, or Baldigus repaint, of their Assaultus. But anyway, I don't have much more to say about this guy. I've already said in my individual videos for each of them that I do recommend them. I do recommend the set. If you don't like the scale for combine mode, you can always keep them as individual bots, and they look awesome as individual bots. I am going to have them in combine mode on my shelf, going up against Bruticus. Well, now I gotta go glue that damn piece on again. Gee, yeah, that's gonna bug me tonight while I'm at work. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. See ya.